what is this thing? There's a number of media and interviews that you would see our president and maybe the registrar and some member from the Pharmacy Council uptaking, just to make sure that we can share the exciting news that we have. As a profession, we know we can do so much. And this gave us an opportunity to showcase some of the work that we can do to make this South Africa a better place, and we can take care of the well-being of the patient. Without going too much, because if I start talking about Pharmacy Council, I won't end, and I'm sure that my team is not going to be happy with me. I'm going to narrow my introduction to the election webinars, where we will be introducing you to this simple process that we are going to undertake to ensure that we have a free and fair digital voting. With those few words, and also thank you so much for making time to come and listen to us. We really appreciate it. We know you are very busy, and we're very glad to see you joining us. I will hand over to the company secretary, Ms. Debbie Hoffman, to take us through the process. You'll be given an opportunity for the question and answers, and then we can go and play along on this nice tool that we just developed and launched. Thank you so much. Debbie?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's session. I'm going to be sharing two presentations with you. I'm going to be doing both presentations before we go into a Q&A session. So I'm going to start off with the fundamentals of where we get to tonight, and that is the change in the regulations. We do have the regulations relating to the election of council members. We know that it is the 9 pharmacists that sit on council that get elected by the profession. And when we say by the profession, it's elected by pharmacists. And we'll go into what that group consists of later. So let's just have a look at what has changed. So it's out with the old and in with the new, which seems to be a theme with Pharmacy Council. We like to keep up with the times and in with the new. After resounding requests after the 2018 election, there was an appetite for Pharmacy Council to get in consultation with the Minister of Health to amend the election regulations and make them move with the time and turn them into a digital platform. So what is out? So we no longer have a manual-based paper system. The regulations used to prescribe how the forms must look. We no longer use, so the out is the postal and courier service. And for those pharmacists that were part of our 2018 elections, would have known all the chaos with the courier system and Skynet. We've also given you an opportunity to say, hang on a second, I can't sell myself and tell the profession who I am and why you should elect me in 150 words. So that's also out. We've got 400 words now. The big one in terms of human resources is the manual counting of the ballot forms. That is all out. So what do we have as the new? We have new digital technology. The forms, we're no longer thinking paper-based, what they look like, how we can print them, how we have to scan them in. The forms can now all be done by way of digital, electronic, and technology. The best part, as far as I'm concerned, is you can now vote in the comfort of your own home. So you don't have to send an SMS, get a courier, wait, phone, follow up. It's now voting in the comfort of your own home. What that comes with is a reduced time frame for voting. So no longer are we going to give you a month to vote. Voting will be open for a period of 72 hours, and we'll go through some of our time frames. There's also the electronic verification of the voting, of the ballot counting. And I think the one that sums it all up is that the new regulations mean that we minimize human error. So let me just put this to you in some pictures. For you, those of you that voted in the 2018 elections would know that you had this nomination form you had to fill, that you got emailed, you had to fill it out, print it, fill it out, send it back, worry about uploading IDs, photographs, CVs. Then we had to produce this information booklet that had lovely pictures and little blurbs about people. Then we had to figure out how to fill in the pharmacist declaration form, and then you got a ballot form. Okay, so all of this is out. So let's go out. What have we got now? Wow, we got the new elections online system. And these are just some of the screenshots of that system, which we will take you through step by step in the next presentation. So where is this law? How can I go check it? How can I make sure that what is being presented tonight is in law? And this is, for those of you that know me, this is my passion. Where is it? So on the council website, under the legislation, you can go to the regulations. The actual amendments are found in this document, amendments to the regulations, but we have provided a consolidated version of the regulations now. So this shows you how the amendments that were published by the Minister for Implementation are fed back into the original set of regulations and how it all reads together as one. So, Madam COO, that is my presentation with regards to what's out, what's in, where can be found, and I'm going to I'm going to move directly into the second presentation. And this is where we get down to the nitty-gritty. How do I, as a pharmacist, go through the nomination process? Ladies and gentlemen, we are only presenting the nomination phase tonight, and how we go through it. Once the nominations are closed, we will then repeat this communication strategy of reaching out and showing you how to vote. But having moved from the very easy thing of nominations and getting one nomination form, we've moved to an even easier online application for nominations. Before I go into the process, we need to discuss and understand who can participate in a council election. So everybody that is registered active as a pharmacist, and that includes our CSPs and our specialists. So those three categories together make up the pharmacists. And as long as you are registered active, you can participate in the council elections. There are certain restrictions as to who can be nominated, and we will get to that when we go through the process. So for tonight, I'm playing a bit of make-believe. I'm telling you I am a pharmacist, so I can proceed and participate in the election process, in particular the nominations. Sorry, I just need my power. Sorry, I'm just getting used to presenting like this in a webinar. So this is where it starts, who can participate. So you go into the secure site on the website, and you see your usual registered person page. All familiar with this? It's the new look and feel. We know how wonderful it is, and we have to log into our profile in order to start this process. So I have to fill in my P number, my ID or passport number, my password, and then I click on the enter button. Once I do that, it is going to take me to the screen that asks you to confirm all your contact details. This is the second point check, and you're going to go, yes, this is me. My contact details are correct. Once I've gone through that, it's going to take me to my dashboard. If I am able to vote or participate, not able to vote, if I'm able to participate in the election process, I'm going to have this icon. It says, my vote, my nomination. And I'm going to click on that, and it will take me to a page that looks like this. This is being cut a bit, but you'll see all the writing and recognizing the right to participate in the council election. You will notice when you go in there now, this will say closing on the 8th of September at 4 o'clock, 1600 hours. That is important because anything that is not done on the nomination process when the nominations close will be an incomplete nomination. So the first thing I need to do when I'm on this page is decide who am I going to nominate. Or if I want to nominate, bearing in mind not everybody wants to participate and nominate somebody, but this is if I really want to nominate, who am I going to nominate and where do I start the process? The first thing you would do is preferably make sure you have the person that you want to nominate's P number. If you don't, you can search the register and get their P number. But we always say there's a communications aspect to this. Speak to the person you want to nominate. Get their P number. Are you nominating the correct person? I mean, when you go into the register and you search certain words, certain surnames, you're going to come up with a dictionary load of surnames. Am I nominating the correct person? So once I have the P number in there for the person I want to nominate, I type in the P number. And the next thing I have to do is I have to ask somebody to please second this nomination. So it needs 2 people to even get the nomination started. Once again, I say I need to know the person I'm asking to second. As you used to do with the old forms, chat to each other, communicate, get the seconder's person's P number. Again, that person needs to be allowed to participate in the process. I'm going to take you back one slide and go to the person I'm nominating. It is possible that I might choose to nominate somebody who is not eligible for nomination. And the following people are not legible for nomination. The first grouping is anybody that has served on council for 2 terms. Now, 2 terms can be consecutive or they can be accumulative. So in other words, I could do 5 years, have a break, and another 5 years. That is 2 terms accumulative. Or I could do 2 terms back to front. The other thing is that the Pharmacy Act, says to us that a person who sits on council must be a South African citizen. So there is a verification process down the line, and I'll show you that. But please try and determine beforehand if the person you're nominating is a South African citizen. Okay, let's go back to our seconder. Right, so here's the person that's going to second. There is something that's been added on this page that's not on the presentation, and that is if the seconder does not second or doesn't want to second the nomination, I, as the person initiating the nomination, can change the seconder. So I just go back to this page and I say, replace seconder, and I put in another P number. That you can do right up until the person accepts their nomination. So once I've nominated the person, I found a seconder, I go nominate. I click on that button. And then it's going to ask me to confirm everything and saying, I have nominated so-and-so who is a South African citizen resident in the public to be elected, to be a candidate for election of the Pharmacy Council, and I go, yes, I've read all the fine print, and I know what I'm doing, and I agree with what I do, and I click confirm. Once I do that, it will send a message to the person, an SMS to the person who's been requested as a seconder. And it says that I have selected somebody to second a nomination for Joseph. Okay, so I've nominated Ms. Mokoena, and I've requested that Ms. Mafuku seconds the nomination, and that person who's needing to be the seconder will get this SMS. The seconder needs to go into the secure site and confirm that they agree to be the seconder. And this is done again by logging in, and they will then see on their page, the nominators requested you to second a nomination, and all you have to do is click on that button and the magic starts to happen. Because now the person who is being nominated, the person who began the nomination will get an SMS confirming the nomination has been seconded, and the person who is being nominated will get an SMS saying, you have been nominated, please go to the secure site. Log in the normal way as we've showed you, and you, who is now the nominee, will see that you have to accept a nomination. The minute you click on that, it's going to take you to the screen that says, right, now we need your information. First and foremost, we need you to upload a copy of your ID document. That can be your ID book, or it could be your smart ID card. If it is a smart ID card, you only have to give me the front of the card. What I'm looking for on that is the part that says RSA citizen or citizen. That is my verification that you meet the criteria of the Act. It is a compulsory field, and you will not be able to accept your nomination unless you've uploaded a copy of your ID document. Please make sure it is a clear copy that we can see, because it is a verification process. The other compulsory field is your CV at the bottom. And don't do that on presentations. When you see the CV, you will see that this no longer allows you to upload your CV. It says type the words in this box to a maximum of 400 words. Why am I saying don't upload? The issue is that from the nomination process, the system is going to automatically generate the ballot. And on that ballot, on the ballot form, it's going to say, there's the person being nominated. Click on the CV, and you're going to be able to read the CV. No longer printed booklets. So please type your words here. I've always said in my presentations around this part, type it in Word and then copy it into here. 400 words is approximately one A4 page at 11 font. The only optional field on this page is any additional supporting documents. I don't mean to be gender specific in this, but the most obvious one is when your registration name and your ID number are differ, and your ID differ because of marriage, and you've chosen not to change your name with Pharmacy Council. You can just upload supporting documents to say, I am who I am. Once you've done all of that, you're going to click a submit button, and it will then submit the nomination, and we'll get told of this. You have the option to amend your CV at any time until the close of the nomination phase. So until 1600 hours on the 8th of September, you can amend your CV. Caution, don't leave it blank, because at 4 o'clock on the 8th of September, when we close the system, what is in that field will be what is presented on the ballot. And then to round up the whole system, the nominator will receive an SMS confirming that the nomination has been accepted. And that is the end of the nomination phase. In the background, there is the verification check by the election committee, headed by the returning officer, which is the registrar. Couple of inquiries that we've received is that, can somebody be nominated twice? The answer is no. If there has been a nomination for one person, it will not allow you to nominate that person a second time. And the reason is quite simple. You just need one valid nomination to be on the ballot form, and that is it. We're not going to reveal that somebody's got 5 nominations. We don't need that anymore. So that's the one time you will also get a message on that nomination screen. I'm going to take you back there quickly. So if I type in a P number here and that person's already been nominated, it's going to flash, this person's already been nominated already. If I type in a P number of somebody that's done 2 terms of council, it's going to flash and tell you this person is not able to be nominated. If I by some chance type in a P number of a person who is not a pharmacist, and let's say they're an intern or they're a pharmacist assistant, it's going to tell you it's an invalid P number. And while I'm on this page, just to let you know, oops, I should stop doing that, that you may nominate and or second up to 9 nominees. If you try a 10th, be it your 10th to be it as a nominator or as a seconder, it is going to tell you you have reached your maximum number of persons you can nominate. So that is the nomination phase, and all of the information on here then gets electronically pushed through to generate the ballot form, which we will show you at a later stage when we move past that. So that, Madam Chair, is the conclusion of my presentations for tonight. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Debbie. We are going to now open this for questions. And the same that I always talk to the interns, we do a lot of communication with the interns. This digital system should not eliminate traditional social interaction. By so meaning is, if you want to nominate someone, I know the register system gives you the P number. Just say, hey, Nell, I think you need to sit for council election, and what's your P number? So that we do the right thing from the onset. Yeah, so I am waiting for some questions as we speak. So let's do that. Also, I know that David spoke about the SMSs as information move on the system. Please, just for this coming, it's no longer 30 days, but we get in there. The remaining days, please make sure that you are on the system and see what is happening on the system, just in case some tower for Vodacom in some provinces not working and there's a delay in your SMS or something else. Go online, everything is live. Press off the button, we are up to date. I'm not too sure, communication team, if there are any questions. I don't see any. It seems like our presentation was straightforward. The link is available. Please go online. First, you can watch the small video that we've made for you, and it will really guide you. Even if you forget anything that Debbie said, the most important 2 things is the video. The next one, questions. Make sure all your questions, I know some of you have our cell phone numbers. use that email address. Debbie, can you put it back on the screen? The email address, so that we can trace and track all the communication, because we want to be audited on the system. So we need the information, and our auditors to be able to go through that particular email address and see that we have done what we've promised you to do. Debbie?
Sorry, Madam Chair, I didn't have the email address in the presentation. I have put it in chat. It's at elections@sapc.za.org. I'm sure somebody will communicate with me to ensure that everybody can see the chat and that they can pick up the email address from there.
Thank you so much. I can safely say it was also part of the e-note. So please, let's use that email address so that we can have a smooth running communication. Noctul, you can continue. Too long. Madimechi. Mayor Hoffman.
A person is allowed to do 2 terms on council, and that makes no difference as to how they became a council member. So you can become a council member through the appointment by the minister or by the election process. So regardless of how you became a council member, you may only do 2 terms. So that is 5 years, 5 years. So once you've done 2 terms, you will not be, your P number will be blocked on the nomination phase. But that doesn't stop you nominating and seconding people. You just cannot be nominated again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nobutula, do you have more questions? Maybe we will take 3 or 4 of them, and we can answer to all of them at the same time.
All right, the next question is, a permanent resident is a permanent resident an SA citizen, and can they vote?
Next one.
That's all for now.
Thank you. Debbie, I hope you captured that.
So our permanent residents are entitled to nominate, they're entitled to second, and yes, absolutely they are entitled to vote. The only exclusion for non-South African citizens is they cannot be nominated. So they can participate in the elections by way of nominating, seconding, and when it comes to the voting, everybody can vote, but they cannot be nominated to sit on council. Thank you.
Any more questions, even from the communication team, from any platform which you are supporting us from?
There aren't any questions for now. I think we can give them some time.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've come to the end of this process. It's not the end until the last day. And I'm hoping that by the time we end this month, all of us who are in this team, and when I say all of us, I exclude myself, but everyone else who's eligible to do this particular process would have done so. The other very important announcement is we had the communication with the stakeholders, who are the people we talk to on a regular basis. We have we have identified that RPs are another key stakeholders that we would want you to please spread the message to those who might have not updated their contact details on our system, and we were not able to reach them in terms of the e-note about this process. So please talk to your staff, talk to your colleagues, about this process, because we would want everybody who want to participate to have an opportunity to do so, and way on time. So with those few words, I see Noah is trying to help us to get the email address for communication, that we really would want all your questions to be sent to elections@sapc.za.org. We are also going to put that on our website, everywhere else, because we really would want to cover everyone and include everyone. So please, let's do this process as fast as possible. Tonight we have planned to have this workshop up until 7 o'clock. We still have a few good minutes for everyone in the team to exercise their right. And with those few words, thanks to the RPs and everyone else that made time to listen to us, communication team, our company secretary, and the other department, and some of the management team that might have joined us. Some of the council member might also be online. Thank you so much for the support throughout this entire process. I need to say we are very excited at Pharmacy Council. We look forward to this particular process, and we hope you will walk this journey with us. There might be some issues there and there when we push some of the changes in other processes, and our system might be up and out, but we promise to do all the communication and make sure that the process is quite smooth and we achieve what we want. With those few words, I say thanks, and the webinar has come to an end, and thank you.